everyone, this is Teresa Green from Slow Paths Wellness. Today I wanted to talk about some mindfulness around being who you really are, even if you're wanting to grow and change into someone who is a little different than who you are right now. And the way I came about this particular talk is I was thinking about the fact that when I first really started kind of looking into mindfulness and self-compassion and getting to know who I am instead of who I thought I should be, I did a lot of journaling. I wrote things I felt, I wrote things I liked, I wrote things I didn't like, I wrote things that happened in the past that were hard. I just wrote about everything. And today, I kind of want to get back into that, but I find myself a little resistant. And I was trying to figure out why, so I was journaling about that today. And what came up was I think I've started to see the object of self-growth a little bit more as self-improvement than self-growth, which means that I'm too busy trying to become the person I think I ought to be instead of being who I am. And so the journaling feels like uncovering all the work I still have to do, which, that's no fun. A ton of work that you have to catch up on or something isn't any fun. So I wanted to see if you're feeling the same way. If anything, sometimes you feel like you're always striving to be someone other than who you are. Maybe together we could do a little bit of mindfulness work and realize that growth means you accept and you care about and you really enjoy who you are, and you make room for that person to change and grow. So 3 of the mottos that I use at Slow Paths Wellness in my coaching are creating space, relishing change, and celebrating authenticity. And I sometimes try to separate those, but it doesn't work very well. Basically, you create space for what you want, you relish the change that comes, which isn't always on the surface the most pleasant of things sometimes, and then you celebrate who you're becoming as well as who you are now. And by celebrating that authenticity, that means you think it's completely okay and possibly sometimes preferable to be different from what's around you. And you're very attuned to separating, this is me and this is culture, or this is my friend, or this is my work, or this is even my thoughts. I'm not my thoughts aren't me. And that differentiation is a way to celebrate your authenticity. So I'd like for you to close your eyes right now and just first do a little body scan, kind of see what you're feeling. Anything tense or sore, or you feel any energy kind of caught in any different areas, and just notice that for a little bit. We'll say for 5 breaths, and we'll just do that first. And I'll count them off. Now, I'd like for you to picture yourself when you were younger. Usually that means child age, so anything that you would consider young, 8, 9, 3, 4, 5, 12, whatever that is for you. And try to picture yourself not just as sort of this Hallmark card little, happy person, but at your, dirty, misbehaving, clumsy, not fitting in, or even, maybe being mean, whatever it is, the whole picture of you at that age, because it's a lot easier to think compassionately about a child than about your grown-up self. Just kind of picture that. Picture the lack of self-consciousness, the firmness of ideas, sometimes the stubbornness, how easily little people are hurt sometimes, and how that hurt can be huge and then it's gone, or sometimes it lasts and they never really quite know what to do with it. Picture all that, the flaws, the faults, the hurts, the wounds, the whole thing. And just kind of imagine that person, either in front of you or inside of you, however seems to make it easier to make it real. And we'll do that for 5 breaths. Now, I'd like for you to take that messy, lovable, wonderful, frustrating, irritating, confounding little person and just look at them and love them. And we'll do that for 5 breaths. And your little person might be doing interesting things in your imagination. Right now, mine is kind of standing there with her little hands on her hips because this is boring. But that's okay, because that's part of what we're doing. We're part of accepting the fact that we are human, that we have things that might be faults or might just be socially not quite connected with what everybody else in the world does on a day-to-day basis. And spoiler alert, nobody actually does all those things that we think everybody else does. And being able to accept that person. In Chinese medicine, this is a way of aligning the different parts of the emotional part of the body. Being able to have the part that deals with the will, and the part that deals with creativity and anger, and the part that deals with grief and sadness, and the part that deals with joy, and the part that deals with fear and potential. By accepting all of those parts, we're able to help them work as a whole. So now you have that little picture, and now I want you to either, if you want to talk to this little person, you can, or if you prefer to just picture that growth, kind of like they do on TV, where they have sort of like a little shot of a little baby, and then they get a little bigger, and they get a little bigger, and they get a little bigger, then suddenly here you are, grown up and big, and you're able to kind of see it as a progression and enjoy that process. And that'll help you get the idea of the growth tucked into your sort of mind narration of who you are. And we'll do that. So picture that growth spurt, that growth time, and that you're not really changing in the sense of improving something that's wrong. You're just growing. So you're filling out the parts of your system that need to be filled out. Your body, mind, and spirit are doing the natural work of pruning the things that aren't working, or that are not truly who you are, or that don't align with your values and the way that you want to live your life, and just picturing that growth from that perspective. So we'll do that for 5 times, 5 breaths. Now let's sit for just a moment. Put one hand on your chest, and you can't see it, but one hand down on your belly, down around your navel, or just below or just above, wherever it's comfortable for you. And just sit for a minute with the idea that growth and change can be moving in a positive direction, but that they don't have to be really changing who you are as a fundamental person, that you are not broken or defective, that you're just pruning the parts that you don't want and encouraging growth in the parts that you do. So the part that may be really reactive or emotional or get really mad at things and not be able to handle it, what you want to do is help that part to grow, to be able to manage those feelings, to be able to use those feelings for what they are, signs that there's something that needs to be addressed in some way, and that you're going to grow into the person that's able to have those feelings, feel the power that they can give you when used appropriately, and then you're going to become somebody who can be happier in their life and be better at being the person they are meant to be and being able to put their gifts out in the world. So let's sit for just a minute with just really caring about who you are right now, who you've been in the past, and who you can be in the future, but caring about all of them, not just some mythical person out there that you want to become. So let's do that, and I'm going to move my hands around, but start with this and just kind of give yourself a little hug, and I will count off the breaths like I have been doing. So 5 breaths with that. So Thank you very much for joining me for this Mindful Monday, and I look forward to seeing you soon. If you have any comments, feel free to put them in under the video here. And if you'd like to contact me, there should be some contact information there on the channel. I'll check to make sure because administrative work is not my strong point, and I'm okay with that. So have yourself a lovely day. Goodbye.